Hi, and welcome to Diversity in the Community. I have a very special guest with me today, Miss Trinene Davis. She's an author of 2 children's books, My Sunny Day and The Butterfly in Me. She is a retired youth service officer who worked at the Connecticut Juvenile Training School. She lives with her daughter in Connecticut, where she is an active member of the community, and I mean active because I've looked up a whole lot of stuff on her. She don't know this, but and I think she served on the board of the City of New Britain School Readiness Program, as well as the Parent Advisory Committee at the local YWCA. She was one of the recipients of the 2017 100 Women of Color Awards, and in June 2017 made her acting debut in the gospel play A Song of Life in the Key of Pain. And it is a pleasure to have you with me today.
Thank you.
I'm just really excited. I read a lot about you, but I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, like you said, I am retired from the state. I worked at Connecticut Juvenile Training School. I started off as a YSO and worked my way up to a supervisor that ran the facility in the evening times in the absence of the superintendent. I retired there in 2007. About 2004, I had my first child. And what happened was I had a heart attack in 2003. So while recuperating, I got pregnant with my daughter. Anyway, that led to me writing my first book because I was really worried. Really wondering what's going to happen to her if something should happen to me. And these words just came to me, and that's how my first book, My Sunny Day, was born. So since retiring from the state, I work with children. I've worked in the after-school programs, running after-school programs for different programs in New Britain. I've done OIC, YWCA, Sexual Assault Crisis Services.
Wow.
Crosby High School. That was a career development type thing. So and now I'm at Newington Newington school system.
Wow. Wow.
But I do a lot in the community.
Yes, you do. I'll tell you, I was reading about you. Before we get into all of your community activities, tell me a little bit about. I bought the 2 books. I bought a few books and gave them away because I just love them. I want to hear about the book Sunny Day.
Okay, so the inspiration behind that book was my daughter, which her character name is Puka, was just looking out the window, wondering about all the fun things that she can do on a beautiful sunny day. And it was about making choices, being creative, being able to dream. And in the end, she decided none of those things, even though all those things were really fun and exciting to do, she just wanted to stay home and just enjoy the beautiful sunny day and play with her favorite cousin named Trinene.
And so after that book, it led you to the second book, The Butterfly
in Me.
In Me.
Now that book was not supposed to be written then. What happened was my niece was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer in November 2009. And that was Trinene in the My Sunny Day book. That was my niece Trinene. And so I watched my daughter when she passed away in September 2010 go through all these emotions. I couldn't even control my emotions because I felt like it was not just my niece, but like a child. You know, someone that you love so much, I couldn't think about her without breaking down and crying. I knew one day I might write a book about it, but wasn't sure. Till one day, again, cleaning, these words just came to my heart. And all I had was, you know, you can never find nothing when you need it. All I had was these little yellow stickies. So I'm writing every word that came to my mind into my heart down and label in like 1, 2, 3. So I put it in order and typed it up on the computer. It was the book, The Butterfly in Me, with the title. And I believe both of my books was really inspired by God. Those was his words. I didn't think well, how am I going to put this book together? What word's going to go with what? They just came. And I write in poetry form, so it's amazing how they just flow and came like that.
So how old were your niece and your daughter when your niece passed away?
My daughter was 6 and my niece was 10.
Now, have you found with other people reading The Butterfly in Me, has it helped? How does it help children deal with?
Well, I have been on a tour at different towns in the elementary schools, and I talk about it. I don't put it in terms of saying death or dying, and neither do my book. My book just says she got sick and went away.
Okay.
Okay. So they get it. Believe it or not,
They
that
do.
young,
They do.
they get it. I put it in terms about, have you ever had a fish and it died, you know? Or what about a cat or a dog that ran away? Or what about a neighbor, a friend, or a classmate that's no longer in class with you no more, and you was friends? Just putting it in terms of absence, you know, feeling lost. And what do you do? Because as adults, we don't even know how to, at times, handle our own emotions when it comes to loss. So, and I realized that even more when that happened, because I was grieving, but my daughter was grieving, but I couldn't control my emotions. So I had to look at her and all the things and the questions and just everything she was going through. So believe it or not, writing that book for me gave me peace. You know, I was able to come to terms with it, and I was fine. I could talk about my niece now and not cry. I had a reaction from one student who cried after she heard the story, because I think someone close to her had passed away. And she got it. And the parent had got in contact with the school, so she wanted to tell them to let me know thank you.
Wow.
Because sometimes parents don't know how to talk to kids about it, because they don't know how to deal with it themselves. It's not an easy subject, and it's not like I went in there to say, oh, she died. I put it in a fun way, you know, about the beautiful butterfly coming to the window, and she opens it up and she befriends it, and they whipping and playing around the room like they created their own little tune, and just things of that nature. But they get it. And it's amazing that there's so many kids that has experienced loss, whether separation of parents, you know, family members, pets, just you name it, friends.
That's why I wanted it for my my goddaughter Carter. I had you write a little note to Carter, because she experienced the loss of her grandmother, and we called her grandmother Momo. And she really took it hard. And when we people would come over to visit, she would say, "You going to Momo's, what she called it, flower box shower," she called it. So she saw her in the casket with the flowers, so she called it the flower box shower. Right. And Carter is she just turned 6 years old, so she really took it hard. They do understand the loss, you know. So I'm hoping that the book that you know, with the butterfly in me, I'm hoping it. That's why I wanted to get it for Carter, to make it, you know, easier for her, because she still talks about, she'll just like in the mother say, like in the middle of the night, so you get up at night. She lives in
Nightmares,
Virginia.
crying.
Yep, she lives in Virginia, and Momo was up here, but she'll wake up in the middle of the night and, you know, crying that she misses Momo, and you know, that type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And for my daughter, it was two major losses. It was my niece and my father. So I think about when I was a child growing up, I had a cousin that I was very close to, that would come up to Connecticut and live with us. Well, I had two of them, but anyway, the first one, he died of cancer, and he was 17. But I remember, you know, not being explained anything, or you know, just that, I mean, that experience made me afraid of death, you know, and just afraid to go to funerals and all that. And I really don't want that for my daughter, because that's unadded stress and anxiety that a child really doesn't need. Right. So I do remember that, but I also remember my coping skills. Like when he passed away, my cousin My other female cousin passed away, and these are people that was exceptionally really close to me. And my mother passed away. And my mind, I always put it like, yeah, they're around somewhere. I could never run into them. Even I mean, I have dreams even today. Like, I'm trying to call my mother, and she used to work at St. Francis Hospital. She's so busy, I can't never get in touch with her. It's like, it's always, I can't reach her in my dreams, or my cousin. She's, around, but the family just never see her. So
I think it's a wonderful thing, and I'm hoping that people that buy it, it'll help their children, young children, cope with, that
yeah,
loss.
there's so many families that's going through so much.
Yeah.
And that's a beginning.
Yeah.
Of a conversation. Most people don't talk about that.
Right.
But they need to.
Yeah.
And
necessary.
it starts the beginning of conversations and helping their children to learn and how to cope with different situations that happen in lives.
Right. Okay, now I was reading about Treasures by Trinene. Lord have mercy, she's gonna kill me. Treasures by Trinene. Can you tell me about, I know you're the CEO of that. Could you tell me about it? What is it all about?
Well, Treasures by Trinene is pretty much all the little thing I do are little treasures. And they're for my daughter. I want her to know that she has a mother that she can look up to, admire, role model, and whatever little trinkets that I leave in life, they're for her. So they're treasures for her.
Okay. So,
and within Treasures by Trinene, I have my children books listed in there. I also go out and do speaking engagements with children and youth on my children book, as well as I have a curriculum for Imagine Me, talking to girls, bullying, and boys, and healthy relationships that I go to different schools, after school programs, and talk to youth about those issues.
And you have, I see you have workshops.
Yeah,
different kinds of workshops.
presentations, yep.
How do you inspire the young women? And I was going to ask you, you mentioned young men. I was going to say, I know when I Googled you, it mainly talked about young women, but do you have young men in your programs? And
I do. Most of my groups are with women, but when it comes to healthy relationship, I have both. When it comes to bullying, I have both. But Imagine Me is more my girls program because I'm a girl. So my daughter's a girl, and I feel like so many girls are lost with learning how to develop into a young lady with society and all the pressure and the cultural pressure that's put on them. They conform to it and think that this is the way they should be or how they should be and act because this is what this is said about them. And I want them to know, no, it's not. You're better than that. So I teach things that have to do with character building to help build them up. But the one thing I tell them is that the power comes from within.
Yes.
They have the power to change any situation, to make any decision. Can't nobody do it for them. It has to come from within. And they hold the key to the power.
That'd be a nice name for a book. Power Within. You have the power. I mean, serious power within. That would be a beautiful book. So you teach also leadership skills, right?
Yes, I do.
Yep, leadership skills. I see one part here where it says you teach about finding your voice and your unique beauty, strengths, and qualities.
Yes. That would be the Imagine Me workshop. And I talk about beautiful and the word
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right, yeah.
And the word unique. And unique is spelled Y-O-U hyphen U-N-I-Q-U-E.
Nice.
Unique, because they are unique.
Yes.
And beautiful is spelled Y-O-U, beautiful.
Yeah,
B-E-A-T-U-T-I-F-U-L.
Beautiful. That's nice.
So I teach them to apply it to them. So I made the words fit them. So I took the normal words and just gave it some swag to it.
Yeah, love it. I love it. You teach them, and you talked about this too, self-esteem and self-worth, that they're worth something. I love that. Yes.
Yes. I mean, I used to have low self-esteem as a child because I was picked on and bullied, but there's so many reasons why our young girls have low self-esteem and feel that they're not worth anything, and that whatever is given and handed to them, they just accept because this is just the way it is. And I want them to know that that is not the way it is.
Right, right.
You know, they have to, again, the power comes within them. Know who you are as a person. Accept who you are as a person.
Right.
You know, so many of them don't like a lot of things about themselves. Well, that's fine. There's a lot of things I don't like about myself either. But there's things I will change about myself that would help me be a little bit more healthy, because I know I'm beautiful, and they should know they're beautiful.
Right, exactly.
They should look in the mirror every day, not worrying about if their eyebrows are on fleek, or look at them. And that's one of the activities. I give them a mirror, and I give them 3 whole minutes to look at the mirror and tell me 3 to 5 things that you like about yourself. Most of them, oh, I have nice lips, I have nice eyebrows. I'm really asking them to really look at themselves. And it's hard to look at yourself. Then I ask them to do the same thing. What don't you like about yourself? It's always the outer exterior. And I'm trying to see who can go beyond that and talk about what's in you. Because who you are is in here. This is who you are.
Yes, yes, definitely.
You could be not the great looking person on the outside, but the most beautiful person on the inside. And that makes up who you are as a person.
Right. Definitely.
You could be so beautiful on the outside and so ugly and nasty on the inside. That's going to determine who you are as a person.
Right, right. Beautiful. I love it. It also says here that you talk about gender and body image and how the media and society defines you.
Right.
Right. You know, we don't have to go by what the media says. If we teach our young people and help build their self-esteem, they won't go by what the media says as beauty.
I'm big, and some of them are big, and you gotta learn to love who you are. If you want to lose weight, do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else. Do it for you. Do the pros, do the cons. Okay, so as you lose weight, that means less likely to have like health issues. You know, that would be my major things for me to lose weight. And maybe losing weight may help you with your self-esteem, may help you feel a little bit better, but do it for you, and not because this is what society said. This is who you're supposed to look like. This is who you're supposed to act like. And all the magazine pictures and all the video vixens that's in the videos, and you know, all the rappers that raps about women and the nasty and derogatory things.
Right.
You don't have to be that. You know, you don't have to be this model that looks like a finger this thin.
Right.
This plus size models, I mean, they're incredible.
Right.
So, I mean, that's that runway model they talk about. It needs to be like that. But there's all kind of opportunities to model. It doesn't care what size you are.
That's right. And
if you want it, go for it.
A friend won a contest, and I was looking at a video of them, what they did to her. Now, she was already a beautiful girl. But they went on I don't know how they did this, but on the picture, they fixed every curl. They fixed if she had even a little line here, somehow on, I guess, some kind of photo thing, where they smooth that out. Every little thing, every little hair. So when these people are on these pictures, they look just perfect. And our young girls, I think when the girls get older, they
and that's what
realize.
They want to look. They want to look perfect. But what they fail to realize is that they were already born perfect. God created them in their perfect, in His perfect image.
Yes.
But they don't know that.
Yeah. So it takes,
and they don't see that.
Takes folks like you.
And they're not taught that.
Yeah. My niece, I love the way she talks to her daughter. She always tells her she's beautiful, you know, no matter what. And my niece, she's funny. She said, you know, I didn't even realize how big I was till I went off to college. She said, because my mother always said, she always built our self-esteem. She always said that we were beautiful. She would say, you don't have to wear dark clothes just because you're big. You know, wear bright, beautiful clothes. And she said she really never realized how big she was until she actually went off to school, because her mother was always built, and she does the same thing with my little niece,
That's
my godchild.
wonderful.
She's always telling her how beautiful she is, and she walks around. She don't let nobody talk her down.
That's right. Walk with her little head up.
Yeah, she does. She does.
They may call you conceited, but you know who you are,
Yeah,
and you know your self-worth.
Exactly. I love it. Now, some of the other things you do, I know you have your own TV show.
Yes, I do.
Can you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that's called the Trinene Talk Show. I do that at Nutmeg TV in Farmington. And basically, I created that show because I didn't see any other teen show that was out that talked to teens or allowed teens to have a voice. So I created the show so that teens can have a voice and gave them a platform. So I have teens on the show because it's about teens. I do have guests appear, and you know, there's different topics that we talk about that deals with teens, everyday life, school, you know, career development, different situation. It could be an abused relationship with your boyfriend. We have done shows with that too, because a lot of these teenagers are experiencing abuse with boyfriends in high school. Physical and sexual abuse. Teen mothers we done had, you know, kids getting pregnant in middle school now. So we talk about issues and good or bad or indifference that goes on in a teen's life. Wow, that's beautiful. And you're also, which you didn't talk about. No, not yet. I'll wait for you. I was going to say, you not only you have your own show, you help with the kid. You didn't tell us about the fact that you're also a singer. You just started being an actress. This is your first big show, but you're also a singer, right? I wouldn't say I was a singer. I would say I always loved to sing, even when I was younger. I used to write my own lyrics, sing my own song. I had an uncle that used to had his own record company called Daz, and he was actually, even though I watched documentary show on Full Force, that's on VH1, he was the first one that recorded their first album. I have the record at home. Wow. Daz record company, producer Mel Nelson. That was my mother's brother. Oh my goodness. But that's not mentioned on that show. And I was like, one day I'm going to let them know. Give my uncle his recognition. But anyway, I'm letting the world know now. So I always was inspired back then to sing and write my own songs. But of course, you know, life gets the best of you. And I always sung in a choir as a teen, too, in church. But I just recently started back singing with the choir the last 2 years at my church, and then in this play that I recently did. And you're right, nobody knew I could sing or nobody knew I had a voice because it wasn't something they heard me do. Right. So a lot of people are very shocked, like, what? She sang? Oh my God, I didn't know she could sing. Yeah, I have hidden talents as well. There are many talents. And you have a few degrees, and we're gonna wrap it up in a couple of minutes. But I just want you to talk about the some of the degrees you've acquired. Well, I do have an associate's in communication. Right. I have a dual bachelor's degree in criminal justice and sociology. I was just in school. I just was taking classes to take classes. Wasn't sure what direction I wanted to go in. I didn't know I wanted to go into criminal justice, but I didn't realize I was taking that many classes. I was just taking classes. And when it was time to graduate, they said, you have so many credits, we're giving you a dual degree. So that's I brought that up because that's an inspiration to the young people too. You know, that they can do it. Right. You know, and now I'm even thinking about not going back for my master's, But because I've been working in a school educational setting for a little while now, that it has inspired me to go get maybe my alternative certification for teacher. So I'm thinking about that.
Wonderful. Can you look into that camera and just tell people how you how they can get your book, how they can reach you? If I don't know if you do you go out and like speak to groups? Can they call you? And if you
Oh,
want,
sure. I would love for groups to call me,
Oh, okay,
get
so-
in contact with me, whether they're churches or
Yeah,
other
okay.
youth organization. Maybe I can do book readings with the church, the kids
the
in
children,
church.
yeah.
And especially church that deals with bereavement and children. That Butterfly and Me would be a great book for them to have.
Oh yes, definitely. So if you could just tell the folks out there.
Okay, well, you can get both of my books at www.amazon.com. The Butterfly and Me you can also get at barnesandnoble.com. And you can contact me anytime at Trinene, Trinene, Davis, Davis, at Comcast.net. And I can order the books if I have any on hand. I can ship them to you. If not, I can also order them for you. If you want to book any speaking engagements about the books, please call me, 860-890-0146.
And I wanted to say that I really appreciate you. I know how busy you are.
You missed one thing about me.
What did I miss?
I started the YSP Your Soul Purpose Youth Awards.
You know what? I actually have that on here. So I want you to tell about that. That's right. That's a big. That's
coming
a
up
big
in October.
deal. Right, the YSP. Yeah. Tell us about that, please.
Okay. Well, again, my inspiration for that YSP Youth Awards was the Black Girl Rock one that comes on TV on BET. I thought it was nice to honor kids that was doing something really inspirational in their lives. Not necessarily honoring them for academics. I want every kid to do well academically, but I feel like there's all kinds of awards for kids that's doing academically well.
Right.
There's all kinds of awards for kids that's doing athletically well. And there's kids that may not be that academically inclined or athletically inclined, but they have so much other stuff to offer that's not being looked at or noticed or giving them the uplift and encouragement to inspire them to want to do more, do better. So that's why the YSP Youth Awards was created, Your Soul Purpose Award. And that is going to be held this October 14th at 4 p.m. at Trinity on the Main, Stockman Hall, 19 Chestnut Street, New Britain, Connecticut. I just went through, I had judges pick who they want to nominate for the categories. I have 6 categories. I have creative talent, I have entrepreneurship, political, global, leadership, and humanitarian/social injustice.
I don't know how I missed that because your first one was in October 15th.
October 15th.
I actually had it here, but I knew it was time for us to wrap up. I'm like, how could I miss that? It's one of the most
so that's
important
my second
things
annual
that
one,
was
yeah.
on it. Yeah.
And it was really, really inspiring for me last year to do it because it really touched these kids. It's a small, intimate little award ceremony. It's not anything big by any means, but it's intimate. And they're just shocked that someone recognized something that they did and felt like it really mattered. And, I give them a nice, real award. It ain't no plastic, fake. It's a nice, real heavy award.
Wonderful. So I'm
we have
glad.
a little ceremony, food, and
I am so glad that I'm so glad that you brought that up because I wouldn't have. I was inspired when I saw that,
right,
and I wouldn't have wanted to miss that for the world because that is so important.
Yes, thank you.
And I just want to say again, it's been a pleasure. I'm really inspired by you, inspired by people that have a heart for the youth.
Right.
I really love it. And I really appreciate. With your busy schedule, you taking the time to come and speak here today and talk to our audience. And I just appreciate it. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
I
Like
love
we
you
both have
too.
something in common.
Yes,
We're
we
both
do.
the 100 women of color.
Yes.
We both love the Lord. So we, you know, so
We
I
both love
just,
children.
yeah, we both love children. So I really appreciate it, and I really thank you.
I thank you.
And I thank you, the audience, for watching Diversity in the Community. And please, I'll let you know when the show is actually coming out. Hopefully we have a YouTube video, and then I'll let you know when the show is coming on Win TV. And thank you again for watching. Good night.